how badly they played in terms of the rounds that they lost, a 3v5 after plant and so on. So as long as Cloud9 managed to not go on a streak like that, lose these very critical rounds, I think they have a better chance even maybe than VP, who ended up losing to Envyus.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, yes, Envy played incredibly well. Can't take that away. Apex was on point, very hard player to play against. But at the same time, that was an Envy without even like their full roster.
Yeah,
so
without MBK, a very good player too. And yeah, it's like they're, you know, yeah, it's not to say that Envy in general are bad. It's just that they were playing with the sub, and VP are, you know, just coming off a win at like winning all of E-League versus a very strong Fnatic in the finals, no less. So I don't know. It doesn't seem like VP were in tip-top shape, and we're clearly making some possibly bad decisions. So I think Cloud9 will be able to, being a lot more relevant at the moment, do better. But so also maybe shed some light on exactly how good CyberZen are. You can't really. I mean, even if we were to say that Virtus.pro were.
We are now into the pistol. We do have, of course, the Tech-9 and armor onto King, but Stewie has other ideas. Very nice start to the game for him. Takes 2 headshots, clearing out 2 players from CyberZen.
Oh, here we are in one of those unlosable situations. Gulestol pushing through the smoke, however, to give a little bit of leeway for CyberZen to make error. And the push through the smoke isn't going to work out. Automatic spots both, and actually all 3 players, but takes down 1.
Yeah, they will see Advent managing to grab 1 as he rotates over towards B. This is actually a good chance for a bomb plant now. In fact, he should get this quite easily. So, although the round very, very nice for Cloud9, that's actually a little bit of a saving grace for CyberZen because they probably shouldn't have been able to get away with that.
Yeah, I think this was a strat. Well, this is a strat that Heroic used recently. Not a seriously uncommon strat, and impact to be given that he probably listens. Or, you know, you can't have too many cooks in the kitchen. But if you know, a lot of people doing their own thing, even on these T rounds, they make it work.
This is an intriguing buy. We have 1 AK bought up by the T side, dropped over by Advent, and then the rest of the players have just gone with pistols, so definitely going all in for this one. They've left the bomb over towards T spawn and gone for very heavy middle control and just split over towards the other side. Shroud will find the scout shot onto TB, so he's out of the round before it really begins. But in terms of map control, they've got into window and, well, nothing is there. He's ready. Got to be careful for the second, who will make a loud noise when breaking the vent. Takes nothing low, but doesn't take his life.
You know, it's pretty sick. I don't actually want to count my chickens before they hatch, but let's say CyberZen and Tyloo both end up, because if they both end up 1-1, then they get to play a best of 3, right, versus, well, actually, it's NaVi and Virtus.pro to be completely out of it. Huh. Well, they'll play a best of 3 against still a much more apt team, and that is much more of a real test. So it'll be Virtus.pro, well, potentially Astralis and potentially Virtus.pro.
No, Virtus.pro.
Oh no, sorry, actually.
Envy.
Yeah,
Envy. Yeah, it still hasn't sunk in yet.
It's kind of
Virtus.pro gone. Wait, what?
Yeah, you know, this is a CIS tournament. They were, as you mentioned, they were, you know, NaVi, a player from NaVi was like Edward and
yeah,
Pasha, I think, on the banner, right? I mean, not only just because they were CIS teams, but they're also favorites to come out and either make top 4 or just straight up win the event.
Yeah. An AK has been picked up. The one remaining. Well, the only rifle actually brought into the round. 15 seconds left. Saving this, well, it's something, but then no money actually made into the round. I'm not sure the value of that. It'd just be going for the same again, but no real improvement, and actually Stewie will end that life. But the AK being given over, that's a different sort of circumstance altogether.
Cloud9 should have waited the timeout and then chased him afterwards, forced him to get into the site. There's no way he could plant, and I mean, he could have ran with it, but they maybe didn't know yet, didn't have half armor. It really wasn't in his best interest to save because he'd have $0 and no money to buy half armor, so he would have been an awful spot. Probably would have had to drop the AK, picked up a Tech-9, had Tech-9 no armor.
Yeah, so dying in the end works out better. CyberZen not going to have anything too crazy in this round, just a few P250s and nothing already, looking for some aggression. Not going to find the frag, and that does mean that an early kill, at least $300 into the hands of the Ts.
It's hard to really justify a push like that in a round where they know they've just gotten past CyberZen spending a lot of money to win. They know that right now CyberZen are saving and likely don't have even armor to work with. Shroud doing a good bit of damage onto Savage and BAPS, and everybody's still stationed up in the same positions from CyberZen. Moving up A-ramp now with a split from Palace. Cloud9, ooh, Stewie with a couple of, really nice long-range headshots. Jeez. Can you get another one? Wow, just insane spray control and seals it up. They don't get anywhere. Off.
buy, but it was only with 1 AK and not anything too crazy. This time they have AKs across the board. Do you think they're going to be able to do too much in this one? We've got the scout still on Shroud, which is a little bit of a sort of risky position, but where he's playing it, it's not that surprising. Back a while ago when the hitboxes were terrible, it was much more effective, but
it's still Shroud,
viable.
Right? So he's probably going to hit a couple people, and they'll all be within one shot from any other gun in death. But yeah, I could see how it could be a liability in some regards. But right now, mid control is being taken very default way of taking it, having one person sneak underpass, and it doesn't seem like Cloud9 care too much. They've even given up connect control, with no one over at stairs. I wonder if the smoke dissipates very quickly.
Actually, a bit of a gap in it, and in the meantime, Lovey will be finding the first. Stewie quickly there to trade, and TB's found another in the meantime. Now 3 players over towards this A site, and, well, nobody on B, so that's sort of that hold. It was a high risk, and we have to remember, we spoke about that sort of scout being alone. Well, inevitably, it doesn't work out. Their short player goes down as well, and now they have to try and retake the site, although it hasn't actually gone down yet. The bomb will now be planted. A couple of players rotating in, still looking towards nothing over from short, but look at the position of Savage. He should be able to get a nice, easy frag. Nothing! How did he predict that? How did he know that was coming?
I'm not in his head, but yeah, your guess is as good as mine. And Cloud9 crumble a little bit. Scoodle's going to try to hang on to the Zop, but that's a really solid round from CyberZen, who at first, I mean, Stewie gets the opening kill, but it seemed like, I think Shroud got shot out of the sky, and now Scoodle's position completely compromised. He has nowhere to run, is going to try to, off the back of this smoke, it works out, but really well played. Oh, they don't have any semblance of a buy. How is that possible? I have no idea.
I guess didn't make as much money, had to buy up an AWP as well, just spent a lot of money on nades, I guess, but in this round it is looking pretty clear-cut. You've got Automatic with the CZ waiting to try and find something close, but I do feel, ooh, never mind. TB knows he's there, but can't do anything about the headshot.
Yeah. 2 players in CT going to try to move up. Savage on the fast flank. And Shroud looks like he's aware of it. Almost catches the opponent off guard. Doesn't actually connect with any of the bullets, which is a critical part of finding a kill.
Yeah, now they will have a buyback up. Shroud did have actually quite a bit of spare money. Had, what, I think 7 grand going into this round, so no real problem there for him to buy. They will drop an AWP over to Skadoodle, actually from the hands of Automatic, who had plenty of cash too. And this was more of a save in order to get everything they wanted, rather than going for a bit of a force earlier on.
Yeah, I do like that they aren't just spending money just because they have it. I mean, these are the early, it's really early on the round. Skadoodle missing a frag there. They have a moment to try to line up that shot, but
16 HP. He hits the tag.
Oh, he hits him. Oh, wow, okay. That's pretty insane.
Yeah, and actually, well, look at Advent. He's got quite far out onto the site, into Sandwich, and nothing has to be careful here. There's multiple players. Skadoodle has rotated away, and there goes nothing, but still looking at the 2-pronged attack from CT. Already another player will fall. Zoking doing the work, and Automatic is out of the round. The position isn't bad, but it looks like the bomb will go down no matter what Stewie tries to do. And this is just going to leave 3 players left to try and retake. 1 player up close as well. Zoking should be able to catch out any sort of push from Shroud. And this is looking a little bit difficult now, as the afterplant positions from CyberZen are pretty good.
These are insane afterplants. I mean, look how much coverage they have. They have all of mid. They have window blocked off. The only thing they have is a funnel that will cause C9 to try to go through CT if they need to, but they have complete peace of mind in all of these positions. And searching for these kills is understandable because of the fact that CyberZen have won these 2 rounds in a row and are about to put Cloud9 on what could be another save. But C9 are going to hang on to these 3 guns and will likely just buy up on the other 2 players to try to convert this next one. But wow, another round from CyberZen. They seal it up. I can't even account for Nothing's death. We weren't spectating him in that moment, but died over by the smoke at jungle. I'm not sure if it could have been playing differently. Maybe he felt like there was no way for him to, for them to win the round if he allowed CyberZen to cross. Just a little bit too much map control being taken. It's hard to say.
Well, it was just a little bit sooner on that AWP rotation from Skadoodle, and he could have held the angle, of course. He took the earlier pick and actually did hit the shot, so not too much against him in this stage. Going for the mid presence. This is very aggressive. That smoke was late, but they get a little bit lucky. Pushing through, Automatic will find the first, and looking for a little bit more. Actually runs into his opposition, finds the shot again, and this is getting shot down now. Shroud has found the 1 player trying to push through Apps, and this leaves just Savage and TB remaining.
Wow, and they try to flash through that smoke to pick up the next kill. It's 5v2 though. It's really, I think, important for Cloud9 to not only win this round, but keep as many players alive as possible.
For sure.
Just to guarantee that they have enough info to know if it's going to be a site that they're well covered, and there's automatic to pick up a third kill. Very nice defense from him on short.
Yeah, this time
he's 5 alive.
They didn't get anywhere near him. On short, the smoke works perfectly, and they try and get themselves out. The problem then was they were getting shot from behind. The avenue coming in from apartments didn't work out at all, as Shroud does manage to find the kill. Skadoodle has been a little bit quiet so far, but it was more that smoke. He went for the shot, didn't expect anybody to go through, and then didn't get the follow-up because the smoke landed just as that was available.
You know, cat takes are fast cat takes work, but you have to get that cat player really quickly, and the problem for them was that they not only couldn't do that, but got stuck up on cat. And once you've committed to it, that's when it gets really difficult, because you've got to decide whether or not you want to go through a smoke or get a bunch of players in the ladder room. And there's Savage taking a bit of damage from the molly. He got away with it versus Guardian, if you remember. Or was
I love the balls. Just jump straight up onto the boxes and basically stand out in the open like, here I am.
Actually got the teams completely messed up. There's a round from Tyloo who got one of the very critical rounds. Stayed up on the box while it was being Molotoved, and then got an opening kill on Guardian. Oh, the flash. It seemed like it was going to be good, but it doesn't even matter. Zoking, the man who aced versus Virtus.pro in the last series to get that headshot.
Skadoodle is there to trade, so not too bad yet, but CyberZen now, they're going for a solo push over towards B. This could actually be the chance to even things up. Shroud ready and waiting, but he's not going to find it. TB's too quick, takes his head clean off. This opens up the B site. This time they are going to go for a full rotation. Skadoodle now sort of alone, although now they go back towards the A site, and they have gone a little bit topsy-turvy. Skadoodle is even going to go on a rotation to B, and they've actually just mind-gamed here. I think they got a little bit lucky because they seem to be rotating B, then rotated back when their player went down, but they've got the A site for free.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm not sure. They were able to get that kill on Shroud, cause a lot of suspicion about what they were doing, and now Cloud9 are just going to pretend like they were saving the whole time.
Yeah. Well, it was more that I think when TB got that kill, they just got shook up.
Yeah, I mean that's the power of killing anyone who's solo side, is that you can influence the rotations of the other team. You know, pretty much have them at your will. And there's TB to go down. Cloud9, I think, because of that last round, are still doing not great, but decently economically. CyberZen, however, are putting rounds on the board. I think they've earned themselves 4 rifle rounds, no less. Haven't even had a round versus Cloud9. That's just been an easy eco-save mow-down.
But 4 rounds already on the board for CyberZen. We saw against VP, their CT side was actually very, very strong. They didn't, I don't think they lost a single round. So you do have to be careful, a little bit skeptical here for Cloud9. They are going to go for a force again. As you said, they did have money to spare Skadoodle, even with still 4,000 in the bank if necessary. But this is coming off the back of a lot of saves. Players keep being isolated out of positions. They lose the site and then they just have to give it up because the after-plant positions are just too good for CyberZen. So both times actually on A where that has happened. So have to be a little bit careful with their rotations. Of course, sometime, like the first time, they were actually just shut out of the site and pushing back in. I wouldn't say that by any stretch, but got baited a little bit in that round. Of course, when you lose a player, they have the site, you sort of expect that to come in anyway, so not too many problems just yet, but at a 4-all circumstance, we look at the sort of positioning at the moment, CyberZen playing very passive.
Yeah, quite a stringent default at the moment. Not even mid-control being taken whatsoever, excuse me. Bomb dropped outside Palace. No plans for an attack quite yet. It seems like they're finally starting to congregate towards the site. It is actually B that's being fortified by Cloud9, but no information gathered by either team really, so if they might just stick to this read, and that could be a problem for them. CyberZen might be in store for a pretty open site at the moment.
And it's a similar setup as well, because we have nothing, the same position over towards jungle, which got very isolated because of the fact that there was nobody there to stop the push up close. And once they got out, CyberZen just basically picked off the players. So there is more of a chance, however, of a retake as a team if they aren't going to lose any players up close and personal. So we'll have to see what they actually go for here. They're still playing quite far back, but you can actually see Stewie, well, he's playing around those smokes. No surprises. They're going to go aggressive, actually stand into the ninja spot and try and see what he can do here. Hasn't actually been spotted out yet, but he hasn't spotted anyone out either. Now he goes aggressive, finds the first. Doesn't go for anything too crazy. They do have the sort of bomb plant, but look at where all of the players have fallen back to. Everyone's on ramp, except one player, Savage.
Yeah, they might actually be aware of this. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets cleared.
They're going to get the defuse, surely. Surely they're going to get this defuse. Isn't he just sticking it? Yeah.
Wow, they have that. They played it very standard. They actually let the bomb go down. I love how CyberZen did get the bomb down. They threw flashes, ended up blinding their own teammates, but made sure that nobody could deal with the plant. And the problem was that they didn't have appropriate after plant spots. Now, this is a team you can't criticize for after plant spots because they've done a great job in the past. But in that situation, 4 at ramp, I mean, coming out ramp all with 4 people in the first place is pretty risky stuff. But to not get a kill and then go back to ramp without getting a kill, I think was a bit of a mistake. They could have made that play a little bit deeper and tried to get control of one choke point at least, so that they could at least crossfire on players coming through the other ones. If they had jungle control, for example, anyone coming up connector and then through CT, you have to worry about 2 angles. But for the CTs in that situation, they could come out CT, come out jungle, come out stairs, and have this cone fire on A ramp. Put CyberZen in a really awkward spot. Can smoke them all out at once.
Yeah, middle control just being given a lot of the time over to CyberZen. Haven't seen too much of a challenge. Most of it has come in from short when they've tried to go on that way from automatic, and then in terms of, you can see the positions being held, they have jungle covered off as well, so really they're just basically saying, yeah, you can have mid, we're just going to hold the angles close to it, which does, as we've already seen, allow for quite easy bomb plants to come in onto that A site because there is nobody up close and personal. But I can definitely understand the logic, and again, it's going to be automatic. This time peeks out from ladder, will get 1-0, then gets taken down though, leaving just Stewie over towards that A site, but the bomb's not there anyway. There's only one player left over towards that site, and that's Zoking.
Super important that Shroud got that kill to keep the integrity of the B side alive. There was no way for Cloud9 to know about anything else going on there if he had gone down. But I like that automatic is this high impact fragger at Cat opening up the round. Pretty important stuff that he's getting the kills that he is. And Shroud falling back to this back pillar is going to hear footsteps and realize there are only a couple of players left. I love that Molly. What a good one. That's exactly where everyone falls back to. And oh, Skadoodle. Holy smokes. I think that plant could have happened if not for that incredible shot by Skadoodle as he crosses back. But I love that back pillar Mauler. That's excellent. I can tell you, I can name some of the best players in the world that fall back to that pillar every single time there's a B taking their solo there. So it makes a lot of sense that they did that.
Yeah, of course. We do see Savage trying his best to save the AWP and will succeed. So they will have something to play with in the next round. Not sure how well their economy's doing after a couple of rounds going back the other way. Of course, I'm still a little bit skeptical about that A hold, just because the 2 players playing so passively. It is almost a retake scenario already if the smokes go down, but it does fortify that B site quite heavily.
Yeah, so B is much harder to retake, and so it's common for teams, if they trust themselves, to just play A a little bit more scarcely all the way back in CT, and sometimes just straight up your window player and a connector guy to make sure the mid split can't happen. But apart from that, Shroud gets smoked out of his spot. Seems to do some work. Incendiary, quite an expensive resource, gets baited out.
Yeah, again, a lot of players edging over towards this B site. We look at Zoking at the moment going underpass, and we have actually seen a secondary AWP picked up for the CT side, so Shroud over towards B, taking a different avenue of attack. Of course, same, he has support from automatic from short. Does find the first pick as well. Remember, this is mostly just pistols, a few Tech 9s, the AWP to back it up, and haven't seen anything from the AWP yet. We will see Lovey find one, and going aggressive, actually grabs a second as well. But it's just going to be damage. There shouldn't be anything more here. Would have to take a huge mistake from Cloud9 to lose this, and there's automatic to end his run of terror.
It seems Cloud9 have found their footing right now. They've gotten a very solid hold on B. I like CyberZen throwing the smoke initially because they played so many fast rounds to try and bait out the resources from Cloud9. It ended up working. They almost got into the site, but Shroud hit a couple of important kills. And if he dies right away, I mean, that's a round that could just change completely. And it sometimes does come down to that first kill. Whoever gets it is able to not only have the site and the plant, but the round.
Well, it's hesitation as well, I feel. If you lose that first pick from an AWP, it does get a little bit scary. Aggression from Cloud9. They're going to go pushing. This buy is not a particularly good one, but they'll be able to get another rifle on the board. Stewie will be able to return this to an even scenario with even similar HPs, but a very aggressive push from Cloud9 that really hasn't favored them too much.
Oh, that flash almost helps out his teammate Savage. So good, the communication. I love that. In the midst of the battle where you have a teammate all the way up there and you can't spot him. You also have people shooting at you from B-apps to just remember that you've got to throw this flash. I think that's really good. But 2 players left after all the chaos. Cloud9 completely failed on that push, going 1 for 2. You know, these are 2 CTs as well. Infinitely more valuable than any one terrorist. Well, maybe not infinitely, but quite important. CT lives matter.
A lot of damage done as well to those CT players, so you do have to be a little bit careful in this circumstance. Skadoodle will find a gap in that smoke to take down Lovey, leaving just Zoking in a 1 versus 3. 40 seconds on the clock. The bomb is down. The smoke has faded. He doesn't have anything to re-smoke that, any utility at all. They know exactly where he is, or they should, and they know where the bomb is. So now they're just sort of waiting for the plant. You can see them all just sort of hovering around. Fake plant, not even going to bite just yet. And, well, they're sort of waiting for the plant to, in fact, go down. I don't think he's going to be able to bait any sort of push out. Stewie making his way forward a little bit, but now he's just going to go for the hold. The Molotov thrown out. Stewie now goes aggressive. Will find that frag nice and easily. And Cloud9, although they give away that bomb plant, other than that, it's a very clean end to that round, and they don't lose either of the 2 players.
Yeah, I really love Skadoodle not going up first, having Stewie offering himself up, saying, you know, bait me, I've got really low HP, and then trying to find that kill immediately. It was a really good opportunity. Skadoodle would almost certainly have traded it, and now Cloud9 are up 2 times the rounds of CyberZen. 8-4 is the score, and are having a pretty standard but good CT side after CyberZen. So showed a lot of promise. I mean, these 4 rounds are all rifle rounds. Seriously, like that is an impressive amount of rifle rounds to have in 1 half, and have a score that low, actually.
Yeah, well, we're yet to see them lose a CT round on this map, so you never know. There's still hope for them just yet. There's still a few more rounds for them to play in this one, and if it goes to an 8-7, then sure, there's crazy stuff.
My mistake. There is 1 round that Cloud9 had saved, so...
Either way, Automatic will start things off. Manages to catch one on the cross. This is going to be an aggressive B push. 1 player still waiting towards mid. Lovey finds the entry frag, but Stewie and Automatic are quick to trade it back to a 2 versus 4. Huge advantage at the moment. The bomb is on the site, but it's not being planted. There's no chance of that. Stewie will end his life, and Savage was waiting for rotations. They all came from market, and for that very reason, Cloud9 are in a 4v1.
For the 1-tap, does do some damage and take down Stewie. He's going to fall back. He's got a minute left. The bomb is down, however, and that really changes things. Cloud9 now, having known that Savage is last spotted, Cat can make adjustments accordingly, but because of the amount of time, have to remember that the big flank is also imminent.
Look at his spot, just waiting with the AWP. It does give him an opportunity if Skadoodle is to miss this shot, but I think that's almost living on the edge, waiting for a prayer to come true. He's just going to wait back in case there is somebody behind. It's not going to be the case, and not sure whether this is even worth really attacking. Of course, at this stage, money is not too much of a problem. They will have the loss bonus built up, but inevitably we will see Savage fall away.
Yeah, I think that Savage right now, I'm not sure if a pause was called. There's some chat going on right now, but if it was called, this is just some extra time that they can add to their pause, where he hangs out for a bit, and he's got the AK armor to save. Definitely worthwhile to hang on to. Cena win the round. That's 9-4, and
they've done so much more. They've achieved so much more.
Yeah, not too many holes in their game. Not too many holes at all. Skadoodle going right to CT spawn, and I think that CyberZen are going to... I'm just going to go on a limb here. Savage is their lurker, so I think he might try to jump out B-apps and come for that cat plant if that's the play that they want to do. Stair smoke, and what else is going to be thrown? Maybe a jungle smoke. Entry through Palace. No, we have 1 connector here, so maybe just a more standard A take.
Yeah, they've fallen back to the basics, so we'll see whether this will work. The smoke will be thrown out, and it looks like so far there's not too much aggression coming out from Cloud9, except for this. Skadoodle is ready and waiting. Will fall back after the flashes are thrown. Not going to find too much of a gap, and this should allow for a bomb plant, but Stewie, he's going to go straight through. Finds one through the smoke, goes for the spray, not going to connect, but they already have a man advantage, and this, I actually quite like this. They're just going to let them have the site and try and retake it. Already we see a little bit of aggression coming out, but nothing's managed to trade one back, and I think that definitely works for him rather than just trying to take the first pick. Automatic gets another. Advent will trade one back, and they are keeping this one close, but HP, utility, everything seems to be in the favor of the Cloud9 side. Advent completely blind. Shroud should be able to shut him down. It's more importantly looking at the time, and also the fact the bomb is just being defused.
Yeah, it seems like they had no choice. It felt like for CyberZen they had no choice but to assume the fake plant, assume that Cloud9 were going to give it one more tap, and because they were down a man, that would have given them a little bit. That would have bought them a little bit of time so they could try something more YOLO. But Shroud, as you could see, was just defending slowly. I like that he didn't push too far into CT. He didn't need that kill. It was CyberZen who had to aggress and try to take him down. So had him and had the ace up his sleeves with that one, holding that angle.
Yeah, but this has worked nicely because one of the reasons that A site was working for CyberZen was the fact that Cloud9 were losing nothing because he would go for a peek. Instead, they've just gone, okay, you can have the site, we will just fall back and then retake it from you. And it's actually working very, very well.
Yeah, so the point, I mean, the critical part of the retake is like, if you're going to play retake spots, if someone on your CT side gets too aggressive and dies and it's 4v5, that round becomes so much harder to win. Whereas 5v5 is way more manageable with all the utility between the bunch of you. Now here is going to be, I think, a similar A take, except the lurk is going to be performed differently.
Yeah, again, mid-presence, Stewie will find the first kill. He gets the second as well. This time he is going aggressive. He finds a third. Only doesn't get the fourth because he runs out of bullets. And that'll be Skadoodle to end the life of one more player. And that's going to be it. Shroud with the one tap ends this half. An 11-4. Much stronger showing than we saw from VP to the Chinese teams on this CT side so far. They've got a long way to go. They're quite far behind. And of course, everything starts with the pistol. Lovey actually being dropped. A bit of an odd raid boss. It is the CZ in armor, so not something you see as often. They are going to go very aggressive, though, and actually it's going to be a bloodbath. Everybody in this position. He's going to have to reload. He'll get taken down by a jumping automatic. Now it's all going to come down to Advent tapping away, trying to find these kills, but it's just not working out for him. Shroud will end his life, bringing this to a 3 versus 2, but the flank is the big factor here for number 4, I should say. Zoking all the way around the back, doesn't manage to capitalize. Nothing finds the kill. Savage, he has a kit, a smoke, and 3 players to find.
Yeah, might be an insurmountable retake after that kill from nothing. Even though he takes some damage, he's got regained the apps control, and the team maintains the man advantage. People peeking right now, all giving opportunities. You can't ultimately let him aggress too far, but so far, Savage hasn't found a kill off of those chances, and even with a kit, is unable to win the round. Cloud9 win the second pistol of the half. And it seems like these Chinese teams have relied heavily on, in these best-of-1 situations, sealing up these pistols. I mean, credit to them for doing it. And what the heck? Stewie's at 20-8. Wow, he's
yeah, automatic 18-6 as well. So both players having huge impact in this game, fragging power. Wouldn't say there's anybody too slipping down the bottom of the board at the moment for Cloud9, but definitely those two that have stood out at the moment, looking like this could be clear-cut unless something comes back in this round from CyberZen. They have themselves the Force buy in play. 3 CZs, a 5-7, armor on all those players except for Savage with the Deeg.
posturing for the smoke in the window. It's going to cancel that for a second. Smoke's an incredibly valuable resource, especially on a map this big, and it's important to time them well so that you use them. Wow, okay, nice shot from Savage. And right at the peripheral vision of Stewie, Savage puts one right between the eyes.
Yeah, and leaving Cloud9 now with a man down. These pistols can, of course, be deadly. Nothing going to be individually pushing over towards that A site, and has to be a little bit careful here because he is slightly surrounded. Still two players here looking for that one kill. Finds one. That's probably enough. They've got to do this in a 2 versus 4 rifle in the hands of Shroud. And let's see what the CT side can do now. Every single player, bar one, is coming from that market spot, and everybody going to be rushing in on towards Skadoodle.
I love Skadoodle's angle right here. He's not exposed to Cat and might be able to, yeah, just get another kill.
Oh,
a third one. That's just perfect, amazing positioning. And he will get away as well. On for the ace. Will he grab it? He does. 5 kills on the round, and Cloud9 survived the anti-eco that they were destined to lose. The opening kill on for one. Just hearing that reload. Really good to use the sound that way. Started pre-firing right away and gets a kill. But they had some incentive to even go for another buy just because Cloud9 were down to 1 member last round. But the bomb plant might have offset their will to do so.
And also, the way I look at it is you can force there. If you win, then it's that booster. But if you don't win, then you have the bigger problem of, okay, we may never get a buy on the CT side.
Yeah, it's just that the amount of rounds that Cloud9 have already, they've got this crazy mountain to climb, so using risks at that point makes a lot of sense. I mean, it isn't necessarily justifiable, but it's very common when a team is down so often. And that's like the problem we saw on Nuke, right, where teams would get insane CT sides and then would make bad buying decisions. when they would go from CT side or T side to CT side because they only got like 2 or 3 rounds. And yeah, it is kind of hard to say, well, do we want to go for that one buy, or do we want to take a risk and try to stop the bleeding early?
Oh, well, this is looking like maybe they should have tried to stop the bleeding early already. They've lost 2 players in what could be their only buy round. Shroud and Stewie with the opening frags. Automatic going to add one more as he pushes back into connector, throws down a smoke, but both remaining players, they're over towards CT, and I don't think there's too much they can really do here. Just barreling out Cloud9, definitely using this sort of aggressive freestyle to their advantage. Didn't really have any hope there, CyberZen. Were not prepared for such an aggressive push. TB will fire 1-0. Going to win the life. TB just trying to do as much damage as possible here and stay alive with his weapon because it may be the only fully rifled player into the next round.
Ooh, yeah, they're actually leaving him. I don't know if they know that he crossed yet or not, but it seems like Stewie's going to post on this angle. It's probably a good idea to do so, and finds the kill, so that's match point, and CyberZen save no guns.
Yeah, put down. It's a bit of a horrible scenario for the Chinese to be in. Cloud9 have, well, they started a little bit rocky with some of the buy rounds, then just ended up dominating, and now, well, they need 1 round. They're going to go aggressive yet again. It is a bit of a mixed buy at the moment, a jumble sale, and Savage up close and personal with the mag.
Gets his face blasted off. 2 players left on the site. Zoking getting a couple of kills for himself. A last round warrior as we know him. And a third. Okay, not looking too bad. And now it's TB all alone versus 2 players who are slightly wounded. Has an opportunity now to find a kill. That's good with a nice angle and a headshot. Seals it up. And did they ever stand a chance? Did they ever stand a chance? It seemed like the 1 point that they had a foothold on the game was in the first maybe 8 or so rounds, where they were tied up, but it was unclear at that point. Yeah, it was unclear at that point. But then 3 rounds later, Cloud9 aren't losing. They aren't losing members. They're stopping bomb plants. They're performing retakes. They're firing on all cylinders.
I think the thing I want to bring to you now is, so in terms of